Growing up, I only knew actor Neil Hamilton for his portrayal of Commissioner Gordon on the classic TV show from the 60s, Batman. There he is with the Caped Crusader. What a great show. Anyway, true confessions time. I must admit that it was only very recently that I discovered that there was so much more to this man's life story, which is filled with triumph, as well as some genuine hardships along the way. And if you're willing to hang out with me for just a few minutes, I'd love to share both with you. However, before we get going, let me just share my source for so much of the information in this video. Yep, good old TV Guide. Man, I loved that magazine. While the June 4th issue has one of my all-time favorite actors, Andy Griffith, on the cover, it is this article about Neil Hamilton by Leslie Raditz that really caught my attention. In the article, Neil talks about a low point in his career, or better stated, his life, that left him ready to do the unthinkable. During the 20s and 30s, Neil had been a huge movie star. Here he is in a picture from a 1926 film titled Desert Gold. Neil was such a big star that much like the movie stars of today, he was getting paid to be in all sorts of print advertisements for things like men's fashions. Life was good for Neil, and as such, he had a house full of servants, an expensive pool, and a handful of administrative assistants to sort through all of the fan mail that he was getting. In 1932, in conjunction with the Olympic Games, Neil, who was an avid cyclist, rode his bike from Los Angeles to San Francisco on a goodwill tour to promote the international event. By his own admission, Neil's ego from time to time would get the better of him. He could be blunt and outspoken on set, and it was one of those moments that he believed resulted in offers for roles in movies coming to a screeching halt. By late 1942, Neil had hit rock bottom. He could not find work, and he had bills to pay, a family to care for, and people, so-called friends that he thought he could count on, suddenly were never around when he tried to pay them a visit. No one wanted anything to do with him, and because of that, he seriously considered taking his own life. His plan was to jump from the mountains above Santa Monica. In the TV Guide article, Neil said that he had no words left, no faith, no hope. He felt abandoned, empty, useless, and prayed out. Despair hit him hard and left him looking for some way to provide monetarily for his family. With no acting gigs coming his way, Neil thought that his life insurance could, at least in the short term, provide something for his family. It was while Neil was in that state of mind that he ran into a Catholic priest and felt compelled to tell him his whole story. The priest encouraged him to engage in 9 days of prayer, a novena. And although Neil thought that all hope was lost, at the end of those 9 days, to his surprise, he was offered an acting job from Universal Studios. Did Neil's career ever return to the glory days of the 20s and 30s? I think it's fair to say that it did not. But he found constant work from that point on, and he was grateful for that. And it wasn't always movies. Sometimes it was on TV shows like the episode of Perry Mason pictured here. And Neil never forgot that chance conversation with that Catholic priest. While Neil had been a fairly devout Catholic as a young man, he had become much less religious when fame entered his life. However, during his later years, Neil became an extremely spiritual person who was a valued member of the Good Shepherd Parish in Los Angeles, as well as being a member of the Catholic Motion Picture Guild in Beverly Hills, California. And while his career may have been in its twilight during the 60s, I think it's fair to say that these days, Neil is best remembered as Police Commissioner James Gordon in the Batman television series, where he appeared in all 120 episodes of the show. Yvonne Craig, who played Commissioner Gordon's daughter, Barbara, and Batgirl, said this of her on-screen father: Neil came in every day to the set, letter perfect in dialogue, and never missed a beat. He was the consummate professional. You are looking at one of my favorite episodes of the Batman TV series. This is the one from the final season where Batman and the Joker compete in a surfing contest. It's so darn silly and so much fun. I published a video about that one not too long ago. There it is. Go ahead and click on it. I'm pretty much done here. Thank you so much for watching.